Welcome to Primetime, everybody. We are live with episode 20. 20 episodes in the can, and we are talking about Jordan Peele's Nope. I am super excited. I'm your host, Hunter Chambliss, and I am joined by my co host, Chad and Kerri. How's it going, guys?
Going really
It's
well.
going great. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this.
Yes. This is Jordan Peele's third movie coming off of the critically acclaimed film Get Out and the slightly divisive Us. I really enjoyed Us,
Same.
but I know a lot of people did not. The film stars Kiki Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, Stephen Yeun, and Brandon Pereira, along with Michael Wincott, of course. It always has happened at least once, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, guys, let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts about Nope first. I'll let you guys start, and then I will give my thoughts afterwards.
You want to go or you want me to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I thought this was a great third film by Jordan Peele. Did not disappoint for me in any way. I loved the acting. I loved the plot. I loved how this is. I think it's probably no secret that if you at least look at the poster, this film maybe involves some kind of aliens, which is a subgenre of horror that tends to never scare me. And this movie did actually have really fantastic, scary moments. So I think it was just successful as just a horror film. As always with Jordan Peele, you have fantastic metaphors in this movie. I think overall, I know some people have not loved this movie. I don't agree with those criticisms. I think definitely at least give it a shot. I at least really enjoyed it.
Chad?
Yeah. No, I agree with Kerri about everything she said. This is one where, Jordan Peele finally got to have this accomplishment, dream of finally becoming a director. He came out with the widely successful, fantastic, one of the greatest horror films ever made, Get Out. And then he did Us. You know what? With the kind of like the horror crowd nowadays, I don't know what they want, but a lot of the times they don't even define certain movies as horror. Like, that's not horror. They even do this with Nope nowadays, and I'm like, why are you so limited on what horror can be? Like, horror is a big umbrella, and they want it to be such a small umbrella, and I do not understand why. I am an inclusive horror fan, and Get Out, Us, Nope, they're all horror to me, and I think they're all fantastic. Different levels of fantastic. When you consider like all three of them, I won't get into Get Out or Us because I think we're planning to do that another time. But I think they're different levels, and they all have something great going for them. With Nope, this is probably his biggest movie, maybe most ambitious movie, with the level of visuals that he has in this, and trying to get your audience to get on board with the concept of what the thing is, I think is really a challenge, and I think he handled it expertly, because everything in this movie that was supposed to scare me scared me and really stuck with me and made me think about it and certain things. There's similar things from this to like another movie that some people might not think is a horror movie, but Annihilation, and just things that really just get under your skin with like the sound design and all this stuff. Just like I said, the visuals, the performances. You get a fantastic performance from Kiki Palmer, who I didn't really know much about her. Like, I never watched her, like, I don't know, Nickelodeon or Disney show, whatever the heck she was on.
I did.
Cool. I'm not young enough, Hunter. But yeah, she coming from that to now being this big star and being in a bunch of movies, I think is fantastic, because she's so great. She has a great contrast between her and Daniel Kaluuya in this movie. And Daniel Kaluuya has a very kind of like subtle performance where he's just kind of like, soft spoken the whole movie, which I think is hard to do, especially if you're Daniel Kaluuya. This is a guy that was in Judas and the Black Messiah, and he was known in that movie for just like doing these really great speeches. So to say very little in this movie, I think shows his range and talent in films. There's a lot more I can say about Nope, but I've been like going on for a very long time. We're going to talk more about it in the spoiler. But short story short, or still long, I guess. I thought Nope was incredible. I really want to. I'm jealous that Hunter got to see this twice. I really want to see it a second time after knowing what everything is in this movie, because it was really, really fun and really great. And Jordan Peele strikes again.
Yeah. So yeah, I just saw this for the second time last night. I saw a later screening of it, and it gets better every time you watch it because what's great about Peele movies is he gives us enough Easter eggs in all of his movies to go back and be like, I didn't catch that the first time, or multiple times in, you always notice a little bit something different. It makes the rewatches more fun because you get to notice small little details. But yeah, shit. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I think the performances are top notch. Kiki Palmer, Stephen Yeun, I think was amazing in this movie. Brendan Pereira, who is a newer actor on the scene, did fantastic with what the role he was given. Daniel Kaluuya always kills it. As Chad said, I love how this performance was kind of subdued for him, but he still brought a lot of powerful moments, being the actor that he is. Um, and like the most thing I love about this film is the scope of the film. It feels grand. It feels big. It feels like this is like Jordan Peele's War of the Worlds in a way, where it's like it's really terrifying, and the creature design and the UFOs and the spatial looks of everything are just beautiful, and the big escaping land shots and everything like that. So add that with a great cast and great writing from Jordan Peele, and you get an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie, especially on the biggest screen possible, an IMAX screen, a theater screen, where you can really experience this grand adventure, I would say. So, with our non-spoiler thoughts out of the way, are you guys ready to get into some spoilers for
Absolutely.
for this
Absolutely.
movie? So first, I do have a plot summary that is kind of spoilerish, but not going into everything. After random objects falling from the sky results in the death of their father, ranch-owning siblings OJ and Emerald Haywood attempt to capture video evidence of a unidentified flying object with the help of tech salesman Angel Torres and documentarian Antler Hoist. So that's what we have the plot to go with. Where should we start with this film? Should we start with the themes, or should we start with kind of our favorite moments, or what do you guys want to go with first?
Well, that's a good question, Hunter. I think maybe we should just I don't know. Do we want to give more our spoiler thoughts on the movie just in general?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Okay, who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
So yeah, major spoilers. If you guys haven't seen it, we're about to give pretty much, or I'm going to give the major reveal at the end of the movie. So if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Come back and join us. I love the fact that Jordan Peele turned my expectations from the trailers. I knew it was about aliens. I thought it was aliens inside a UFO. What he did great was he created his own version of Jaws,
Oh yeah.
with the alien being the shark and the sky being the ocean. Which, thank you to C3 on YouTube for bringing that up, bringing the simulations between that and Jaws. But the big twist is there's no little green aliens inside a UFO. The UFO itself is the alien creature. It's this giant like creature that when you look at it in the eyes, it sucks you up and it kills you. So the whole idea of don't look up, don't look in the sky, mixed with the kind of the predator, you know, captured its prey mentality, I thought was super brilliant in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know I had complained before we actually had seen this movie, I think on here, but definitely in my personal life, about having to sit through a trailer for Nope that I thought showed too much. I always think I mean, in an ideal world, honestly, I would go see, honestly, like all movies without any kind of trailer, because I think that is kind of the best way to experience stuff.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised that, because for a lot of the reasons you said, Hunter, and just how the story progressed, the trailer, I found, at least I actually wasn't trying to super pay attention to the trailer, so maybe you could probably nitpick it if you sit there and like pause the trailer or whatever, but I think it didn't spoil anything that wound up mattering to me.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just talking trailers now, I agree with Kerri about like, you know, that maybe just do like a teaser trailer. Like the for the new Christopher Nolan movie, we actually got a trailer of that after all the Dolby stuff, after Nicole Kidman comes in and tells me that theaters are magical. We get a Christopher Nolan trailer. I thought that was the beginning of Nope until I saw
So did I.
Christopher Nolan. I was like, what is going on right now? But that's all we should get for trailers is just that, and not
that's what we got initially
shit.
for Nope, and then they released the expanded trailer, and I understand for big budget movies like this, that's just what the studio is going to demand of filmmakers. It just really sucks.
But studios, save your money. Stop doing second trailers. Just do like a first 10 second, 20-second trailer.
Well, because Get Out, no one really saw trailers much.
Yeah, I didn't know what Get Out was about, and all I saw was directed by Jordan Peele, and I was like,
exactly.
All
right. It was an indie movie.
And there's a lot of actual weird shit in the Get Out one that didn't actually make it into the movie, but it still made me want to go say, what? This comedy guy Jordan Peele made a movie? What is this? I don't even. And then the people were like, oh my God. But yeah, Nope. Spoiler thoughts on Nope when you're talking about the actual creature thing. I was pleasantly surprised about that, to see them talk about I see that cloud, it's not even moving. And this film makes you afraid of clouds. Kerri was just before recording talking about maybe going to see Nope at the drive-in. I'm like, the whole time we're just going to be looking at that cloud, like that cloud looks a little shifty.
Or not
shifty. That's even worse. But I think it's really interesting to invent an entirely new kind of, I don't know if this is from some sort of lore somewhere else, but it seems like he created an entirely new type of creature, alien, I guess. We don't know if this is always been here, if this is from space or whatever, right? Did they actually go into that, Hunter?
No, they never tell if it's been there, but there are hints of they've been watching this forever. He even calls it the Watcher.
Yeah. And I think it's just an excellently designed creature. When I said that it's like Annihilation, it's because when you see, because you don't know what's going to happen with Stephen Yeun's character. He seems we'll get into a whole side thing with him and an ape or chimp pretty soon. But the whole thing with his character where he basically creates this thing as a show, when it clicks, you're like, oh, he actually knows about this thing and he's inviting people to come see it. And then they all get sucked up and you actually get to see this and the horror, the claustrophobia of it, how people go, this isn't scary. I don't understand how people could say that's not freaking terrifying.
Dude,
being I get vertigo just looking up at the sky sometimes. The thought of being sucked up by a sky creature and just there's nothing you can do about it. You're just there until you die, screaming. And then the screaming gets louder and louder. And during the storm, you can hear the screams. That's terrifying. And just the creature's terrifying. The mechanics, I love how they use the character of OJ, which, used to be a really bad name. It still is. But, I think
it's a joke in the film.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a little joke in the film.
He kind of makes a good OJ for once, I guess. He basically has this whole thing where he's when he's like going to show off the horses or train the horses for the television productions or film productions, and he's like not looking people in the eyes and stuff like that. He's a very shy character, very standoffish, and that works for him because he's like, wait a second, don't look it in the eyes, do the things that I've been doing this whole time. But then his whole arc is that he does look it in the eye and shows confidence and bravery and stuff like that. I think it's just really a lot of great stuff, and I'll move it over to someone else now.
I will say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kerri.
The one thing I did want to say before we move on is I love how we all went into this thinking this was an alien feature and it turns into a creature feature.
Yeah.
Just so fun.
Maybe both, but
yeah, I mean both, kind of.
But no, you have a great point. I love calling this a creature feature because it does feel like that.
Exactly. It feels like Jordan Peele's Jaws, and I heard that going into it, and I didn't know what they meant by that. I was thinking, oh, it's this big summer like adventure, and it is.
Yeah.
But because the alien is a creature and the sky is the ocean, now I get why people call it Jordan Peele's Jaws, because the similarities are crazy.
Yeah, that's a really cool comparison, to be honest. And I don't know if this movie is like on the same level of brilliance as Jaws, but maybe in subsequent watches, maybe it will become that, because Jaws, I don't know if it was like this brilliant masterpiece of a film that stands the test of time the day it came out. So maybe Nope will be up there. I don't know.
Yeah. So I will say, the one thing that I noticed as to why OJ is able to, come up with the plan of like, if you look it up in the eye, it takes you. And maybe it's just something I noticed on the second rewatch, is he's training the horses, as you said, but he turns the mirror around, the little mirror that he has, to show the reflection to the horses, kind of like at the beginning where the horse kicks the lead actress because she points the mirror to the horse. But that's also a connection between, comparing this animal, the horse, to this animal in the sky, the alien, and like the whole narrative of kind of, can you contain a certain predator, whether it's an animal or a horse, an ape or a chimp, or the alien in the sky. It all ties in to the same story arc.
Yeah. I think and maybe we can move into the Chimp Stephen Yeun storyline, tying off of that. I think one of the criticisms I've heard about this movie that I really, really disagree with is people didn't really get how the Chimp storyline played in. And they were like, well, I get it, but it's not effective. I think it's extremely effective because you find out, at first you think, you're not sure where this is what the movie opens with the chimp scene.
Which, a crazy opening scene, by the way, because it kicks you into like a massacre instantly.
Yeah, and it's terrifying. I mean, and if you have ever read stories of these, poor chimps who have been used in Hollywood and then they go crazy and attack people, it's one of the most terrifying things ever. Like, I honestly would probably never want to be around a chimp after hearing those stories. But
well, I mean, that's also the thing, is like you blame the chimp, but then you realize that, well, it's also humans. And this is a thing about, like, I think some films that are really great, like, King Kong 2005, another divisive film, where it's like, people going into like nature or creatures' natural habitat, taking them and trying to exploit them for their own benefit. And you see that chimps, I mean, yeah, they're human-like, but they're not creatures to be exploited like that and to be used for human benefit. They're wild creatures that if you don't treat them right, they might end up doing something like that.
And what you find out eventually as you move through the movie is Stephen Yeun's character learns the what's his name? Jupiter?
Yes.
Is Jupiter. His name. He learns the wrong lesson when he has his chimp experience, because the chimp just he looks the chimp in the eye and the chimp calms down and gives him the little fist bump. And he
Exploding
thinks,
fist bump.
yeah, and the lesson he learns from that is he can conquer nature and conquer these animals and not be scared to look them in the, if he looks them in the eye, he controls them. And it's the exact opposite of what Daniel Kaluuya's character and Keke Palmer's character know about animals in their experience actually working with them and training them.
And that's why I love the whole line that he says when he talks about animals just having rules. They might not all be the same, but it's like, I think the whole thing about is like respecting nature and respecting this stuff, even though like the alien thing, the creature in the sky is a villain. I don't know, maybe it has its own rules and stuff like that, but yeah, you guys can continue. Oh, well, I also, if we're talking about the chimp thing too, actually, I did have something to say, that it really gave me a big like Stephen King vibes, because I love when people have these stories that you think it's all going to be about this one thing, and then they have another like really horrifying thing that happens, and then the way they connect it, I think, is really brilliant. And I love that you have multiple like really kind of horrifying things in this movie that are all connected. There's the chimp scene that really terrified the shit out of me, because I was like, what is going to happen? I don't want to see this chimp like kill somebody. And you do kind of off screen a little bit, but like Stephen Yeun's character is not going to be killed because you see him later. But it's still seeing the chimp being exploited, but then also like going off the rails was just such a terrifying sequence. There's that. There's the sky creature itself, and then there's that one little scene with like the kids. Oh my
In the
god! In the barn, when like he just like thinks someone's in the barn, and you see these little. You think they might be aliens. It's a little bit of a red herring, like a fake out, but the way
it was a total fake out, and I loved it because he was like, "This is what you want," but wait till you see the end of the movie.
Yeah, the way it happens is just so. I'm like, what is going on right now? And the way they were just moving, and you just see it kind of in the background. I just love freaky shit like that. That just made me cower in my seat. And so this
OJ decked the fuck out of that kid, by the way.
What?
OJ decked the fuck out of that kid, though. He like swung for it.
I love that. That's great.
I would say, that was one of the most terrifying scenes. The other really terrifying scene is right after the monster lifts up all the people at what is it, like Jupiter's Claim or
Jupiter's Claim.
Jupiter's Claim, and goes over to Emerald and OJ's house, and it's like raining blood, and they're so scared. Lift them because you don't know the rules of the monster yet, so you think it maybe just will lift them up and take them as well, and they can't get out of the house.
And on a second rewatch, I noticed something. Before it starts raining blood, you can not only hear the screams, but you hear bones breaking, and then you see bones like falling out of the creature, and then the blood comes. So it's like cracking, bone comes, and then the blood rain.
I mean, it's still not a horror film, though. No matter how many horrific things you say about this movie, Hunter, it's sci-fi. It's not horror. No, but like another like big jump scare that happened was the bug on the camera. Oh my god, that part was
the praying mantis on the. Which Keke Palmer has a great line.
Go ahead.
Keke Palmer has a great line after it where she's like, "Stupid praying mantis, he better pray I don't see him, because if I do, I'm gonna eat him."
I also wanted to really quick, not to detract if anybody had anything else to add to those points. I did want to mention, is his name Angel, the character?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Angel Torres, the guy from the electronics store. I thought he might be something after they, went to him and he started to like criticize them and stuff like that. But I was pleasantly surprised when he became kind of like the third lead of the movie and was like, well, I guess maybe at fourth after Stephen Yeun, but he has like more screen time than Stephen Yeun. He's a really, really fun addition. Like he's always kind of like trying to like add himself into everything, and I thought he was really funny and stuff like that. Go ahead, Hunter.
When they steal the horse, the training horse from Stephen Young's character, and they're like, "You can stay here though," and then all of a sudden you hear Angel go, "Yeah, yeah." And they go, "No, you don't live here. What are you talking about?"
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Two thumbs
And
up.
his whole like kind of like side plot that he was talking about, his like relationship that's not working out, and
Fucking CW.
it's just
That
a
was
fun
so
character. He kind of actually reminds me a little bit of Lil Rel Howery from Get Out. This is kind of like
Yes.
a comedic, fun character that's not, I mean, it's not deep or anything, but you know, adds something to the movie. Fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on
So
him?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
go
was
ahead.
really great. And then for, I haven't seen him, I don't think, in
Yeah.
anything else. And he was really able to hold his own with Daniel Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer, who are very experienced actors.
Yeah.
This kind of was maybe his first like film. Like, he was in a bunch of short films previous to this. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, he was in the OA and Doom Patrol, so he's been in TV
Oh, okay.
movies before. No, really.
I will say I was a little surprised is that this movie had as his co-star Barbie Ferreira. And she's a pretty well-known star. I think she's on a TV show. I think it's Euphoria.
Oh,
Chad, you
Oh,
can
okay.
double check me, maybe.
Oh,
Um,
his like goth coworker.
Coworker, but she really only had like one scene. I was a little I was kind of expecting her to have a little bit of a role. I don't know if that was maybe more of a cameo, or maybe she was like, "Oh, I really want to be in a Jordan Peele movie. I'll take even this
Probably.
role." But
Well, it's still kind of the similar thing where she wasn't really in many movies before, and she was really just in TV. So I don't know. But yeah,
So I do have some
Video.
notes on which in my notes I have how does the Gordy's home scene tie into the themes of the movie. So can I read this real quick to you guys and then
Sure.
yeah, go for it.
bounce that off? So I
Yeah.
said the Gordy's home scene ties into the themes of the film in multiple ways. One, it shows how even with this terrible tragedy that cost people their lives can be exploited for money and fame because the survivor of the tragedy, Ricky, played by Stephen Young, charges people thousands of dollars to see a secret room with all the, the Gordy's home memorabilia that's inside of it, including a shoe worn by one of his dead co-stars with blood still on it. That ties into us creating spectacle for fame and money. It also ties into not being able to control a predator theme because in this film we learn that Ricky has known about the alien creatures for 6 months, and he should have learned from his horrific childhood trauma that he can't control a wild animal, whether it be a chimp or an alien monster. Jupe is repeating history by trying to explore another animal for profit, and that's when the creature attacks and kills everyone, just like the massacre from Gordy's home.
Exactly. That's also kind of what I was trying to get at before, but I think that was a very well worded explanation for that. Another kind of theory that I don't understand fully, but that I've kind of heard was someone saying that like because you know how like the sky creature basically affected electricity and like magnetism and stuff like that. Like in the Gordy's home show, where the shoe stood upright and didn't fall down. Some people were talking about like maybe that was some sort of like force field that kind of like held the shoe up or affected like the magnetism around.
I'll say this: I don't feel like it was anything like that. What I feel like was it adds into more of Stephen Young's character of being like, well, I'm the survivor. I can control these things because he feels like he's special because he focused on the shoe that maybe just happened like that.
Maybe you're right, and maybe like the whole shoe standing straight up thing was something from his memory, and that's what we are seeing is from Stephen Young's mind, his memory, and he's like, "Oh, it stood straight up. I swear to God."
That's a really good point because he
Yeah.
had his blade standing up,
Yes,
and
he
maybe
did.
that shows his memory probably a little flawed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
wow, that's great. Yeah. I'd be interested to hear, and I didn't even think about it. We subscribe to Fangoria, and they have their latest edition is apparently full of nope spoilers, but a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I should have definitely read it before this episode. Did not even think about it until just this minute. But definitely, if anyone wants to pick that up, it was interesting. They actually held the shipping back a week because it had so many nope spoilers. They had agreed with the studio to hold it back until after the movie had been out for a week or two.
Yeah, I'd like to read that too. So
yeah,
me too. So I also have like a section in my notes called movie themes, which there are a lot when you break it down into like, well, there are two major themes, but then you can always just come up with different ones. One, I have the main theme is the idea of social media being as big as it is right now, and people wanting the clout, so clout chasers, the social media fame. Nope looks into that, how far people will go online to get famous and to create that spectacle. You can also see it nowadays. We are attracted to spectacle of something terrible happening, whether it's a car wreck or uh, or a car wreck where you see it happening on the road and you kind of stop and turn at it because it's a big spectacle event. There we go. Even though it's it's something tragic that happened, we kind of just want to look at it. Some more examples are the Team Z character at the end of the movie, which I laugh every time he comes in. Where even though his legs and arms are broken, he keeps asking OJ to get the camera, get the shot. And then we also meet Michael Wincott's character, the documentary director. He wants so bad to get the impossible shot that he ends up giving his life to get an inside look at what the creature really looks like that ends up costing his life. So the idea of like, the extent that we will go to get famous, and you see it all over YouTube, you see it all over TikTok. Hell, Logan Paul has done it with the suicide tree incident. And what's funny is he even had a tweet saying that he didn't understand Nope, and he has so many questions. I was like, of course you wouldn't understand it because it's about you. It's about your demographic.
Yeah, that's really great. I don't know if I thought of that like really fully, but I love that take on it. I think that's actually right. And it like continues like the whole thing about like really great themes about people who are interested in celebrity and trying to get close to fame, and like with Scream 2022 with like the toxic fandom and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of themes with horror from 2022 about a lot of the stuff. Definitely for sure. And then you also had like kind of like I don't know if you're going to get into it, but like the kind of theme is about, I feel like, because it's like Kiki and Daniel characters had like a whole thing where they were like, our ancestor was like the first to do something, the first in the motion picture. And they were like, we want to be like the first black, people to capture something like this and do something incredible like that. And, I feel like that's also like a really good thing because, black people have been like disenfranchised and like not really like they'll do something and then people will try to overshadow that as someone else actually did this first. And it's like, no, actually it was someone else. And they just were a different skin color from you. And so they're like, that can't ignore this one if we're the first to do this. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. Kerri?
On both.
Wait, on both what?
The thing Hunter said and the thing I said.
Oh, I mean, I think those are really great points. I just kind of love how you can take so many things away from this movie. Like, I don't know. I think another thing is I don't think it's coincidence that, like you were talking about, Hunter, the themes of people just trying to get famous. And I don't think it's a coincidence that like the story centers around two black characters who have a historical presence in Hollywood, and have this kind of forgotten history about, you know, their great grandfather was the first person to be on film.
It's true. Look it up.
Oh, is it really?
No, that's what they say in the movie.
Yeah.
I should have looked it up because I wasn't sure if that was like, or if it was like that is true that there was the first person on film was a black person riding a horse.
Might have
but then
been. I didn't
maybe
look
they
it up.
don't know who it is in actuality.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I thought that was a really important part of the movie, and that they're, you know, and their whole business is kind of on the verge of failure almost. And they're having to sell all their horses and sell their livelihood just to kind of, you know, they can't keep up with the direction that Hollywood is going.
Yeah. I want to add two things if I can. So on the Wikipedia here, there is an animated GIF of Edwards Muybridge's, sorry about that name, or my pronunciation of that name, Animal Locomotion, 1887, used as an illustration of the very first assembly of photographs used to create a motion picture, and it is an African American man there.
Wow.
I think American, but yeah. The other thing that I wanted to say, I wanted to not. I don't know if people are done with like the themes and stuff, but I wanted to branch off to one thing real quick that people might want to talk about is what is the guy's name? I forget his name, but I'll remember it soon. It's the dad of Daniel Kaluuya, like the way he dies in the
Keith
beginning.
David.
Keith David, thank you. I love him. He's great in Community and other movies. The thing. But yeah, he the way he dies, I think, is creepy as hell because I'm sitting there always worried about something like that happen, like something coming out of the air and striking you dead, like almost immediately. Not immediately, but like he wasn't the same after that struck him, and you're like, what just happened? So that was crazy.
Yeah, and if you notice, so the very beginning of the movie, he dies from a quarter, and it's the quarter that catches a shot at the very end of the movie when she's cranking the thing. She's putting multiple quarters in there to catch the shot of the alien.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
I didn't think about that either.
Yeah.
I do love how they played that in though, like where, you know, they show things that are gonna be really important at the end of the movie where she goes and she stands in the shot. She doesn't know that's a camera. She finds out that's a camera. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know that was a thing." But yeah, she photobombed someone, and it's like a cool kind of looking up photo, looking up at the sky. Go figure. Just convenient enough to, yeah.
One of my favorite like funny scenes is, which I noticed more on my second rewatch, after they get fired from the studio lot, you know, when the horse kicks the powder everywhere. What's funny is, as they're talking to the director or whatever, you see them bringing a prop horse back behind, wearing like a green screen suit, and they're like, "Where's the horse at?" And it's just this wooden horse being rolled on, like back behind the screen.
I didn't even remember that. That's funny.
I don't know why. Just the idea of them like talking to each other, and then just back behind the screen, you just see this green screen horse just like rolling on,
like on to Plan B. Someone got kicked.
Yep. Time to move on to another one. CGI
Their
horse.
fault, but they got kicked anyways.
So let's go into some of your guys' like favorite moments, funny moments, anything like that you guys want to bring up and talk about.
I feel like I talked about a lot of my favorite scary moments already. I'm trying to think of some other moments that were just like so cool. I thought the whole end sequence was really cool where OJ kind of leads the creature away, but ultimately lets his sister be the one to like capture it and try to break it like she was supposed to do for the original Jean Jacket horse, but she didn't get to do. And
Yeah.
they do the thing, and it
Yeah.
just shows their
Love that.
trust and confidence in each other. And she finally gets that chance to, and you can and then that's kind of when you realize when Daniel Kaluuya tells that story about how, or I think they both tell it, about how she was supposed to train Jean Jacket, but then he needed to be on for a movie, so she didn't get
Scorpion
to.
King.
Yeah.
Scorpion King with the rock.
Yeah. And then you understand, oh, maybe that's why she's not as into the business and why she's trying to do all these other kind of, well, she says they're her main hustles and the horse scene is her side hustle. But you understand why maybe she's not as into the business, because she kind of lost that opportunity that she was supposed to have, and that probably would have made her more invested in
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love the creature itself. I love the evolutions that it takes. It turns into this angelic kind of large, octopus kind of thing, or jellyfish kind of thing is what it said on Wikipedia. And I just love the creation of the creature. And just all the the Yagordi, even though that animal died, that's what people do when an animal goes crazy like that, which is really sad because he never had a freaking chance. But there's that, and then also the whole thing, the whole question about did OJ die or not?
No, he did.
He shows up at the end.
He shows up at the end, but it's kind of like a mirage, just like how Keith David's character is at one point too, where you kind of see him, but it's almost like a mirage of them. It's not really them there. I was thinking he was still alive, and I thought, but then someone else questioned it that I talked to, and I went, wait a second.
Well,
what do you think about Hunter? Is that
I'll say this. We saw Keith David's character actually die because we saw
True.
the quarter in his face and everything like that. We never saw OJ die.
Right, and that's why
all we saw was him running on the horse away from it. Maybe he was able to escape, but in time for his sister to kill it, and then he shows up next door to pick her up.
So
that's
maybe it's more ambiguous then. Maybe you can think about it. If you think I think he lived because I wanted him to live. So why not? I thought he lived. He's a great character. I loved his whole arc. I mean, maybe that's also my favorite kind of thing. Just his whole arc of, letting my moment is also Kerri's moment. I love that too. I thought that was great when he figured out the whole things about the rules, and then he, decided to look. All the inflatable tube man stuff was really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the entire concept and design of the film, I thought was excellent. All the scary parts, it just all really worked for me. So I guess that's a cop out, but whatever.
Hey, so I will say the movie opens up with a Bible verse, which I've noticed that being a theme in a lot of Jordan Peele's movies. But this one says, "I will cast abominable filth upon you and make you vile, and make you a spectacle."
Okay.
So that the overarching theme of making a spectacle. This is a Jordan Peele spectacle film.
It is, yeah.
Talking about how we humans want a spectacle. No matter whether it's good or bad, the spectacle is what draws an audience into the films.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm trying to see what her name is because they say it one time, but I can't remember what it is. But Jupe's co-star in Gordy's Home.
Oh yeah.
The one that lives, but it's disfigured. I love how they tricked us in the trailer. Because in the trailer, I thought she was going to be maybe an alien creature or something like that, where maybe she's being experimented on.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, no, she is, like this because an ape attacked her and she somehow lived through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know everyone, when the trailer came out, they were like, what's with that woman? I will say, as soon as the movie opened with the chimp attack, then I knew that that's what had happened to her.
Oh.
Just because if you have read the stories about it, there was a very famous case of a
Yeah,
chimp in
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood where a woman
Yeah.
attacked like that.
Well, I mean, I knew about that, but I'm not one to watch the trailers and like, oh, what's
Oh.
that character? What happened to them? I don't know. I don't really analyze
I don't
trailers.
really do that as well.
I like
but
instantly forget everything in trailers, and then I just go like,
I think that's a
I'm
good
gonna
thing.
watch a movie, and then people are like,
It is.
you ruined the movie in the trailer. I'm like, why'd you pay so much attention
You
to the
can.
trailer? You did it to
Now-
yourself.
To be fair, it showed in the first trailer, so this was my first opening
Gotcha.
to Jordan Peele's,
Yeah.
like what Nope was going to be about, and I was like, okay, from the poster I could tell it's something to do with aliens,
Yeah.
Mhm.
UFO on the poster, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, I was trying to think of different movies. Like there's a movie called Sorry to Bother You, where the twist in it is like they're doing human. A spoiler alert for a 5-year-old movie, but they're doing like experiments with animals and humans, and I was like, are they doing experiments with like maybe treat like aliens and humans, and that's why she looks like that. My mind went like, okay, we could see something like that as well, where it's like it's still a creature feature, but it's like creating hybrid humans.
Yeah.
The other question I kind of had about the movie is, I love that the title of the movie is Nope. It makes a fun joke because now it's like, if anybody asks you a question, the answer's no, then you can just say, like I do, Jordan Peele's third film, and then they'll go, oh, he's saying no to my question.
I get it.
And I remember like all we got at first was like a poster
Mhm.
of the like flags and like something in the sky and the word nope. And I don't know, like what do you guys kind of think how the title plays into the actual movie, other than the fact of a lot of people's first reactions to something that horrific is, nope, I'm good, I'm out of
So
here.
a lot of people, and I've heard this this theory that Nope is actually it stands for something. It
Oh.
stands for not of planet Earth. No.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or if that was Jordan Peele's
Maybe.
intention, but
I
not
don't
of planet
mean
Earth.
because it doesn't have the little dots to make sure that you know it's an
Yeah,
anagram,
Yeah.
anagram. Yeah,
but it doesn't matter if it doesn't have those because it still could stand for that. That's because
yeah.
it is. I think it is like in all caps on the poster. So, right?
Yeah,
I
it
would
is.
be curious to rewatch that movie and see if that phrase is anywhere in the movie.
Yeah. I will say though, the best use of the Nope is in that barn scene where he takes his phone out, he looks, nope, nope, and he starts walking the other way.
Yeah. So that is a really
Yeah.
good use in it. Let's like, nope, I don't want to. I don't want any part of whatever is happening right here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. No.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think I'm running out of things to say about Nope. I thought it was a great movie. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to say. I'm fine with wrapping up unless there's other really awesome things to say about it.
I will say,
Okay.
just funny, like out of movie, kind of in movie thing on YouTube. Jordan Peele put out a full like title sequence for Gordy's Home. That's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I haven't seen
It's
it.
in the style of like a Full House intro video, but it pans to different characters, and Gordy's on there, and then you got Stephen Young as a young character. It's got him like the taglines and the names and everything like that. It's super super funny. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but
I
just
definitely didn't see that, but I
use
did
of that.
hear about it, and I had some friends talking about this, like maybe like what if Jordan Peele's next thing is he did like an actual kind of sitcom show that was Gordy's Home, that he did like the full like mini series of it or something, and
That's not
where
far fetched because Tarantino's doing a bounty law show.
right, something like that, and then you can see like where it's gonna end, and so you're just waiting for that to happen. And then it happens in show.
The
Cool.
end of the series is like when the balloons pop, and all of a sudden it circles back to the opening of the movie, or like you hear the balloon pop at the end of the movie, and then
that would be so cool. That'd be
it
crazy.
like ties in.
One thing off topic that I was thinking about was interesting was that when Stephen Yeun learned about the creature, he tries to use it to profit for himself, but in a very small group. So he's trying to sell tickets to his like Jupiter's Claim place, but he tells people explicitly don't film, no photography, no video allowed. He wants to keep it to
himself.
his spot, yes, to himself. Whereas M and OJ take the total opposite approach. They still want to kind of try to make money off of it, but they want to do it by getting the shot and like, getting on Oprah, getting famous. And then I don't know if that means, and then maybe like promote their Hollywood Horses business or what, or like maybe M has all of these, things she's trying to do within the industry other than training horses. But their instinct is to profit off it by sharing it with the world. So it's I don't know if there is a deeper meaning than that there, but it's just a very interesting, and it's the same. Stephen Yeun takes the same approach with his like little secret room of Gordy's stuff, where he's charging thousands of dollars for people to see that, rather than like, I don't know, maybe he understands it's some kind of like dirty secret kind of thing that if he were to make it too popular, people would kind of call him out for it, or I don't know. Yeah. It's very interesting. It's just a very interesting difference there.
I mean, I think like, also, there's a lot of really great points there, something to dissect that I haven't really seen the movie enough times to really know about like all of that stuff, like, excuse me, about like character motivations and which characters are like doing the right thing and are good and which characters are doing the wrong thing and are bad. But like also, I guess you can also say that OJ and his sister they're still trying to like expose this creature and like save people so it doesn't happen again. So I think that's even if they are trying to bring back like respect and just kind of like prestige to their family and make their family something again.
Yeah, I will say that's the difference, and I love that none of the human characters, there's no clear, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy. Yeah. Even with Stephen Yeun's character, you get why he's doing what he's doing. He's not a bad guy. He's not, trying to do things, maliciously. He really thinks that he can control these predators. He can control the alien, which is another thing with the movie is, you can't control a wild animal. You can't control a predator. You don't know what they're going to do. And he should have learned his lesson by now, knowing what he went through. Yeah. And it's just making the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Well, I will say Stephen Yeun's character, on the one hand, though, he does kind of obviously not care about the well-being of the horses. Like, you realize he's trying to buy these horses from OJ to get the monster
to feed
them. And then you realize that, when his kids are coming and trying to scare OJ, it's not really just payback for stealing the little plastic horse. They let out one of the horses so that they can feed the monster.
That was one of the things that I was like worried about, that like if Daniel Kaluuya's character like totally disregarded like the safety of the horses to feed this thing, that was going to knock him down a notch for me easily.
I love that they kind of made a joke about that, because when Michael Wincott's character is like, just feed him a horse and move on, you had Angel be like, nope, horse people.
Yeah, and he puts when he takes
Yeah, he puts a blinder on the horse.
Yeah, I can't remember the horse's name, but yeah, he puts the
like a cowl.
Yeah.
Ghost.
and he when he realized what Steven Yeun is doing, he goes to try to get the horse back. Not even just he's not even there to fucking take a photo or anything. Like that's his like kind of main goal. He just wants to get his horse back at that point.
So I mean, to your question about who's the bad character, it's definitely Steven Yeun because he's a horse murderer.
You do. I mean, I guess you understand though his disregard for animal life because he has seen an animal, brutally murder people as well.
And
it's obviously not the same thing.
And I guess he kind of grew up with a misunderstanding about animals and like how to treat them with respect, and that's why the animal like turned. Is because he wasn't treated with respect and was misused and abused. So I guess if you grow up with the misunderstanding of that, then you might turn into Steven Yeun.
So there's another thing I noticed in this movie when right before the blood rain, you see M is playing a videotape on the TV, and if you listen really carefully, you can hear that it's the exact same. It's her father saying the same line that she said at the very beginning, like that guy was my great grandfather.
And that's go ahead.
And that's why at the beginning, OJ has to add an extra great because she was saying it word for word like her father said it, not like, not adding an extra great to the line.
Yep. Yeah.
So she cares about the business so much that she, has that memorized like constantly to where even OJ, her brother, has to be like, no, it's an extra great because that was, her father said the exact same way.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
So many things you can notice. I'm gonna have to watch this movie.
I need to watch it again. Yeah.
We will eventually.
Oh yeah. So yeah, guys, I believe we went through everything we can think of. I'm trying to think if I can remember anything else. I don't think so. Let me check real quick. The last thing I want is to like end and be like, I should talk about this. Dang it.
I know. I feel like you always think about either way. You always think about something after the episode. It's like, oh yeah, I meant to talk about this.
There was one thing I wanted to bring up, but I can't remember what it was now. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. It was something about Jude. Something about.
I'll bring it up on a later episode. We're talking more Jordan Peele later, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of that, next week I want to do Get Out as a spoiler review. I feel like again, like with Nope, we could get a lot of different meaning out of that movie, especially because I've watched it like 5 times already.
I do have kind of a little bit of I mean, you probably already have, but a little bit of an assignment if you haven't done this yet. Just watch the multiple endings for Get Out, so that we can also talk about the.
I didn't realize it had multiple endings.
Multiple endings as far as like a deleted scene that was going to be the ending at first. Very different ending. I think it changes like a lot of the movie. And so if you have like the Blu-ray or can find it on YouTube, the deleted scenes for Get Out, check that out because then we could talk about the differences and why the correct ending was the actual ending. So.
Yeah, the history behind them. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also noticed that Jordan Peele loves using like animals as his themes in movies.
Rabbits.
In Nope, it was a deer. In Us, it was rabbits, and in Nope, it's horses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, great point.
Yeah.
So I feel like after we do Get Out next week, we have to do Us. We have
Of
to finish
course.
up with
Yeah.
the most divisive film in Jordan Peele's.
I don't
We'll
know.
talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if this one, I think we'll see over time. I think I've heard more criticisms about Nope than Us, actually, at this
Yeah.
point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe
next week
that's
will
just
be
who I'm from.
yeah. So next week we will be doing a spoiler review for Get Out. So Chad and Kerri, what people find you on?
So I think I have a match that is either released tonight. I think
It's already aired.
already aired, just aired. So you can check that out in my match against Eric Ibarra. And that was a really fun match, part of the King of the Scream tournament. So definitely check that out and check out the other matches that were released with that. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, I'll try to be really quick with my stuff. Over the Dill Pickle Movie Network, I do a show called Picture This. We go over the best pictures. We're doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy, months. So we're doing 2000 or years. I mean, 2001, 2002, and 2003. Did 2001 last month, doing 2002 this month, and 2003 next month for Lord of the Rings to see if they are the best pictures of those years, like in our eyes or not. And then, so that's really fun. We do a lot of ranking and fun talking about best picture stuff over there. On my channel, I do some ranking stuff like, Christmas movies, Edgar Wright, MCU phases, stuff like that. Harry Potter, we did over Chadwick Webb is it. We haven't done an episode in a bit, but we're going to get back up on that soon. I do the movie Battlegrounds over at TMG, which is a debate show that's really fun. I enjoy doing that a lot. I've had a couple recent matches. One today, I won't spoil the result of that, but it was a very, very tight, interesting, fun match to play in. It was against Henry Sanchez, so check that out when that drops. And my match against Sean Hunter, that was really fun too. That's mostly, I think, about it. Thank you, Hunter, and thank you, Kerri. This was fun.
Okay, so last thing, I finally it came to mind what I want to bring up about Nope real quick. When Stephen Young's character Jupe is talking to M, and M asks what actually happens on the set, instead of telling her what happened, he sends her to a YouTube video from an SNL skit, kind of making fun of it, instead of being, again, the tie-in of of course SNL would make something about this, it brings in views because it's something massive that happened. Another point of being like, well, this is a spectacle. Like, people are going to make fun of it. Chris Kattan as the ape, I just found hilarious.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan. Okay, so yeah, I just had to get that out. So guys, we just dropped Sunday Super Show episode 17, which had Kerri versus Eric in the tournament, and then our main event was John Marr taking on a returning Robert Ghost Kastner. That's a fantastic match. Go ahead and check that out on this channel. If you like this podcast, I'll let you subscribe to the network down below. See you awesome video.